like, what was it about this topic that felt so essential at that moment? Because a lot of people might not be familiar with your whole history, but I mean, the topics that you cover in your books, like the media manipulation was what first got me interested in you. Then you go in the direction of stoicism, which to me, as just a fan, I was looking at that like, well, that's a very interesting decision, because that doesn't sound like the most marketable concept to write a book about, but it seems like it's really caught on in a way that maybe even you didn't expect. What is it that drove that book in particular, and what is it that makes you feel a similar way about this? Do you write books with that? Does it feel like this is what society might need, or that the audience needs?
Yeah, I mean, a little bit. I think part of this sort of goes to what you're saying, is like, you got to do what you like and what you feel is true. And then the fact that it blew up in professional sports and in music and with CEOs and that was not my intention, but my intention was to make something that did something for people. So you got it. Like, if you're thinking about like, I'm doing this because this is what's hot right now, like it's a shitty way to live, but it's also a shitty place for your art to come from. You know, like nobody makes their best thing when they are thinking solely about mimicking some like commercial trend, which I imagine you must see all the time. Like people are like, this is, if this thing wasn't popular, they'd be doing some other thing, and if that thing changed, they'd be like, they're not wedded to any of this. And like, you can get pretty good at that. Like, you can do it, but you're not going to build a sustainable career that way. You know,
especially where with books these days, it feels like the majority of success stories are books that seem very lofty and important, and they're really bring something new to the table, or they're just associated with celebrities and they have a built-in market for them. I
mean, so I'm wearing an Iron Maiden shirt. My heroes are Iron Maiden. This is a band that has not been on the radio for 39 of the 40 years of the existence of the band, right? But I saw them sell out 20,000 seats in San Antonio last week, and they're on their 25th world tour. They sold 100 million albums. You know, like his point was like, I think the lead singer said this, he was like, we have our field, and that's what we're responsible for, and that's what we're tilling, and what other people are doing in their fields is of no concern to us.
Right.
So you do that, and then it happens, if you can do that well, you can really connect. So I was writing about stoicism because it was what I was interested in. I thought it would help people in business primarily, and then it ended up working in all these different domains because, like, I think I touched something that people were really struggling with and really needed, and so that wasn't coming that was coming from a place of stillness. That was coming from a place of like, I love this thing. This is what I have to say. I think it's important. I hope people listen. It wasn't coming from a like, oh, philosophy books are so hot right now. This is where, like, I say this to authors all the time. Like, it's not that you can't make money writing books, but like, there's way better ways to make money. So don't do it for money.
Right.
Like, if you were primarily motivated by money, like, go sell drugs, or you know, like, or like go work on Wall Street.
Right.
You know, like this. You already said by choosing this that money's not the most important thing.
Right.
So don't make the decisions from a better place. And ironically, that's how you'll make better money.
Is this something that you've struggled with in your own life, where you've found yourself at times distracted by social media or the constant flood of attention coming in, and then you just sort of? Is this partially manifested by the struggle that you had to go through to sort of clear your own mind at times?
I mean, do you go through that?
Oh, hell yeah.
Of course.
I think the problem might be that I embrace it too much, that I'm not even scared of my Twitter addiction.
It's part of your job, right?
Yeah.
So that's a little
But
different.
everybody says that.
Yeah, right. But it literally, I mean, like it literally is, right?
Right.
And so,
but you got to figure out
you got to figure out some way to manage the chaos so it doesn't swallow your life.
That's the tricky part. It's like it's I think easier to quit like heroin than it is to quit having an eating disorder, because you can just stop doing heroin. You still got to eat.
Yeah, and look, the thing with heroin and eating disorders is very few people are like, there's not of the validation side that you get from social media. So what social media preys on is our ability, our desire to be heard, and our desire for validation. Right? Like, so it's like Facebook says, what are you thinking today? And then people are like, great thought. Like, that's a vicious fucking loop. Right? So people spend all their time chasing like imaginary internet points rather than doing what matters or what they care about. So yeah, of course. I mean, like, the busier you are, the harder it is to find stillness, but the more valuable it is, both personally and professionally. Like, I think about you watch a great football team, and it's like, there's 2 minutes on the clock. How do they slow it down? How do they tune out the crowd? How do they tune out the pressure? How do they ignore the score and just like do what they got to do? And it can be like they've struggled to move the ball the whole game, but in the last 2 minutes, or the last 20 seconds, they can suddenly do what they had trouble doing the whole game.
And do you regard that as essentially being some sort of like shared collective motivation to win the game at that point?
I think it's presence. I think it's focus. I think it's blocking out of distraction. I think it's intentionality. It's like it's all the things that you need to be great.
Right. Interesting. When it comes to, because I mean, like writing a book itself is something where the stillness is very much important. Like you have to be able to block out the desire to look at your phone, the desire to, take a selfie and send it to your mom, a million different things.
Or just like, I see this with people, it's like they want to talk about what they're doing so they can get credit for it as they're doing it and then not actually have to do it. Right. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, it's like, let me take people are like, I'm moving to France to go write my novel. It's like, sure you are. You know what I mean? Like, show me some pages.
Do you see that a lot though? And what is your writing style? Because sometimes it feels like people are so busy that are you able to shove, to write a couple paragraphs casually in the car the same way that you're able to read a couple chapters in the car?
No. Okay. And I bet you see all different kinds of rappers, but I have not managed to wrap my head around how the like rapper lifestyle is conducive to making good art. You know what I mean?
Well, just a quick aside so I can explain that to you. The weirdest thing about rap is that it's very much become the kind of thing where dudes rarely write and they more often than not just get in the booth and just sort of start puking out bars and slowly constructing the song like that. Or a lot of guys, like if you see sort of like a behind the scenes like Instagram live of them, they'll hear the beat and just start to be like, and they start mumbling. Yeah. They might mumble the entire song and then go back through and sort of replace it. But then again, I feel like a lot of the dudes who make music like that, they might be able to make a lot of music, but I think that a very large percentage of the best rap that comes out is written intentionally beforehand, because otherwise it's kind of hard to compose like a real structure.
Yeah, no, like you can definitely like gut it out, stream of consciousness. You can make, but I don't think you make lasting, enduring stuff that way. So yeah, it's like with the rappers that I've met or dealt, it's like you woke up at 3, then you had breakfast, then you went out, and then it's like you roll in the studio like 2 a.m. Like I find that the best like artists across all fields and athletes too are way closer to monks. Right. You know what I mean? It's like for me, it's like I'm not on the phone, and then I go for a walk, and then I journal, and then it's all about slowing it down, tuning things out, and then protecting the space. Even just like you just look at these studios, and there's like 50 people in there. Like how are you getting in touch with like what's in here?
I think the mentality is that hip hop is so much based on energy that a lot of these dudes sort of get into the mentality that they need to have the right energy going on, and that can ultimately be like the real downfall with drugs and stuff, is that they think, I took a Molly this time and was on cloud 9 and I made a bunch of really excited music, so I'm gonna keep doing that, and that just ends up being death creatively. And I think like people think that like the artist's life is about total freedom. It's like, I don't have a job. I got fuck you money. I got this awesome house. I got these people that work for me. This is the life. And it's like, that's not where good stuff comes from. Like Jocko Willink, it's like discipline equals freedom. Like you got to take all that freedom and you got to create order in it. Cause it's like, a gun is a focused explosion. You can't just, that doesn't work, right? And I think that's how a lot of people live. Writers too. It's just like your life is a mess. Like you're not gonna, you woke up at 9, then you had like brunch, and then you did this, and then you did that, and then you watched TV for 2 hours, and then you're like, it's 3, I'm gonna get started. That. You can gut it out. You can make if you're talented, you can make you can make okay to good stuff. But I don't think you're going to make great stuff. It's like when you hear about one of these athletes, it's like they eat McDonald's. Like or presidents.
Yeah, yes. But it's like it's not that they can't be talented running on, 99-cent cheeseburgers. It's what would their body be? It's that their body, they have a freakish body, and what would they be capable of it if they put like good fuel in it?
Yeah, I mean, I've known like world-class athletes who were drinking 15 beers a night.
Yeah.
And it's really sad because it always, there's that moment where you're in awe of it, like, wow, it's so amazing, he's so good, but they're usually like teenagers or early 20s, and then all of a sudden they're 25 and they start diminishing way faster than people that were taking care of themselves.
That's the other thing, and I imagine you see it as now the internet allows these guys to just blow up out of nowhere. You might be able to get away with 1 or 2 or 3 things, but if the goal is like, I want to do this, I want to be one of the best there ever was, I want to do this over 20 years. Like what I think about, there's writers who are, Robert Caro's like 85. He shows up to work, he's still the best in the world. You can't do something for 60 years without taking care of it. It's like you can have a classic car if you take care of it, but like if you treat it like your Honda Accord, like it's not making it to classic car status.
Definitely. Yeah, for myself, I find when I wake up in the morning and just get straight into the writing thing, that's when I have the most success. When I just straight up, I'll wake up, I'll make 4 eggs scrambled, and then make a cup of coffee, and I'll just go and sit on the couch outside by the pool. I actually have a pool now, so that's nice. And just post up there and just
straight into the work.
Just force myself to dump out whatever I can. And I try to, follow my heart in the sense where I'm not going to force myself to finish the chapter that I was working on the day before if that's not what I'm thinking about. I try to like really just sort of follow whatever I want. Or if sometimes there'll be a part of me that's just like, I just want to read. I just want to, I don't feel like my brain is, like, even right now, I don't feel like I could wake up tomorrow and write because I've been running around on not enough sleep, just doing a million things for the past 5 or 6 days, that it's like, I feel like I need to like nurture my brain for a day or two before I would really be able to start being creative in that way.
Yeah. You got to like work your way into the rhythm of it. But I think too many people want it right now. They want it right away. They're not willing to do the work. They'll just take whatever the market will accept. And I don't think that's how you make shit that lasts.